Commissioners. And Dr. Fulkerson, you want to come up?
Yes.
Just make sure your mic's on there. I think it's on. I see the green light.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay.
I just kind of want to revisit the drainage situation between the dollar store and my office. I've been here before, but it's been a few years, and we flooded 4 times in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we flooded prior to that this year. I know I've talked to some of you individually. Some of you have seen the pictures and the video, and some have not. So I do have that with me, and I realize you may want me to take it to utilities on Thursday as well, and I can do that too.
I think Wesley and I have been talking, and Scotty, we've all went by and looked at it. Wesley's got some layouts now of where the drainage actually runs. If we can figure out where one of them runs, we may be able to go in and look at it and see if it's stopped up or if it's caved in, whatever the issue is. Goes behind Southgate Mall. The other one you said goes under the building, right, Wes? Yeah.
It appears that one goes under the building and one to the front towards 259.
Okay.
And, but I don't know, I couldn't find where they come out down below anywhere. So I'm gonna try to talk to Mark Cook, that owns the mall, and see if he knows where it comes out down there. If we ever find out where it comes out, then we can start slow to see if it stopped up or anything.
It's a pretty sizable pipe. What did you say? The
30-inch.
30-inch pipe. So unless it's caved in or stopped up considerably, that's a big pipe. So we'll continue to look at that, and maybe Wes can talk to Mark, figure out where that drains out to. And
And I think one of the problems is I had it gravity drained, and they have a box on top
Right.
of that. And I think part of the problem is it's airlocked. It may be stopped up too, but
yeah,
Well, there's water running there all the
You say
time.
they, who's they?
Anytime you're down there,
the dollar
can
store
hear the water.
construction, well, Susan Cox's construction crew,
Gotcha.
Did it flood before they built the dollar store?
on construction, when my construction crew, when we renovated, tried to pipe it uphill. But when I got an easement from the property next door, when it was shelter insurance, and drained it downhill to the storm drain, that stopped it.
Okay, but then after they built the dollar store, then the flooding's come right back.
Right, because they changed, I don't know, I lost count. They hauled 100 to 150 loads of dirt in there and changed the elevation. So now I'm downhill instead of uphill to the storm drain.
and in that storm drain, Tootie, though, because I went down there and looked at it too, the storm drain, there's water running in there all the time, whether it's 97 degrees and hadn't rained for a month, water's running.
it's been like that for
I
years.
think we knew that, yeah.
The old drain that they did away with there had just a grate over it. We looked at that some time ago, and it's got to be a water leak of some type or some kind of issue there, because I checked it half dozen
Did it ever
times.
show chlorine? I think they put the pills, did it ever?
I never know if they did or not, but it could be like the drain or the waterfall over at the park, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it was odd that it ran all the time, you know, because I went by there a bunch then.
Well, it'd have to be a leak or it's a natural spring underneath.
Right.
Something.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't think a natural spring would follow that pipe. I
No.
wouldn't. So it'd follow it somewhere, but it wouldn't follow it. It wouldn't come out of the pipe. So let us if it's agreeable to you, Dr. Fulkerson, Wes will keep looking at the pathways of those tile, and we'll just see. Utilities does have some cameras we can run up in there if we can find the other end of it to see if it's stopped up or collapsed or something like that.
Okay.
And we'll continue to work on it until we figure out something.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council? Okay. All right, next on the agenda is public comment for possible uses of municipal road aid funds for fiscal year 2024, 2025. Does anyone in the audience have any comments or questions about our municipal road aid this year? What our plans are for blacktopping? Okay. All right, we'll move on to
You
public
need a
comment.
motion for that? You need a motion and a second for that? No?
I don't think so.
Close the hearing.
No, because it's just public comment now, it's not a public hearing anymore, they
Gotcha.
changed all that really, so we just got, anybody that wants to speak, just got to take time and.
Keep checking on me, though, because I skip them every now and then. I ain't gonna lie about it. All right, public comment for possible uses of local government economic assistance fund, mineral tax return for fiscal year 2024, 2025. Or do you care to imbibe on that a little bit and tell us what that's used
Brenda
for?
probably knows a little more what that's for.
Okay.
This one's always been confusing, we know we get the money.
Yeah, it's something to do with coal
Yes.
mining.
Yeah.
Certain communities get that, the state determines how much they get.
Yeah. And we are close to the Appalachian region. I have seen things online that put us in the Appalachian region. Some don't, so it's hard to know, but it's basically a severance tax for coal that we share in from the state, so. Okay, public comment for adoption of the proposed municipal budget for fiscal year 2024, 2025. Okay. All right. We'll move on down to second and final reading of fiscal year 23-24 amended budget ordinance. Ms. Sabrina.
Mayor, before we do that, I was going to bring this up under old business, but we never did get a chance to discuss the garbage rates, and it was included in this. So based on that, I would like to see amend the ordinance related to garbage rates to keep it the same rate it was last year, which is at ordinance 15.08, section G. That would be for the year from beginning July 1st, 2024 until June 30th of 2025.
I
Okay.
second that.
You making a motion, Denny?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Got a second from
Is
Clayton?
that residential only?
Residential only, it'd be identical to what's in there right now.
And what was the money that we would not receive? The
With
difference?
the 4%, I think in the budget, there was, it added 60,000 to the budget. Now, you realize we'll have to have another first reading if you want to amend it out of the budget, or if you just want to, because if you take it out, if you want to take it out, then we'll have to do another first reading, so we'll have to have a special call to get this budget approved. I'm just saying, I mean, it doesn't matter to me, I don't care, I'm just saying if you do that. Yeah, it was 60,000. But if everybody's good with, I mean, I understand making whatever you do with that, but if you don't, if you go ahead and approve the proposed budget, you still could get this much in there because you don't know how many businesses are gonna set up and things like that. This is just an estimated cost of how much we might get, so you still might get that. So it's up to you whether you want to amend it out or just do something different and just say we're gonna freeze the garbage rates instead of taking it out of here necessarily. That's just my,
An option. The other thing we could do is would that be a significant change as far as the budget?
I think
I mean-
60,000 would be, but
But
We can do this and do this, but eventually we're gonna have to change it, okay?
We agreed at the last meeting that the solid waste committee committee would meet, and others were welcome, and I received an email saying that next meeting was, what, September?
Yes, September. Yeah.
And I am gathering some information on this, for the solid waste committee, on some different proposals. So if you do that ordinance July 1st, and then you can always back it up and take that away and move the rates down if the solid waste committee and everybody agrees to, whatever that recommendation is and whatever everybody votes on, you can always move that down. That way it gives time to look at all the information and what that does with all the different rates. I do think that having a committee look at it, because there are a lot of different rates and things like that, but that's up to you all. I have a lot of information that I'm gathering for that to give numbers on, if you did this or did that and
There
you know,
were-
what our rates are and our transfer station rates and things like that, what we're getting charged and what, compared to what we're taking in. And I'm gathering a lot of information for the committee.
Well, as far as residential, I think there's a little over 2,000 residential, and there would be two rates related to residential. One, three rates maybe, more than three. The regular residential, then we have the ones that are 65, and then we have the business/residential.
And you have some rates of like, some people have a dumpster and a residential rate, so there's a lot of different rate codes that affects, and then apartments also would be another, there's a lot of different rate codes for that as well.
If I remember right, our ordinance was only for residential. It wasn't for dumpsters. It didn't impact dumpsters. It didn't impact.
Right, but some of the
apartments.
rates are included, have dumpster included, so like if, say you have a business and a dumpster or something like that, like there's a lot of rates that include more than just a dumpster. So if it has anything to do with a business rate or anything like that, and the apartments and things like that, all the apartments have different rate codes. So there's a lot of different,
So you're saying we need to overhaul of our rate codes?
yeah. I'm saying that you need to look at all the different rate codes and determine exactly which ones, because there was a lot of confusion with that last time because of the different rate codes we have. There was 244 at that time. When you froze it last time, when y'all froze it last time, we went through and revamped it and got it down a little bit, but there's still probably maybe over 100 codes. So you'd have to pick and choose which one. So I think the ordinance needs to be very specific on which ones.
On rate codes, we need to put that in the ordinance, specifically which rate codes are included. My thinking is, why can't you just adopt the same rate codes that we did before? Because basically you're freezing the same people that you did beforehand. There's been no.
That's up to you. You can put it however you want, and then I'll ask Arlene to look at my rate codes and
Kent,
tell me which ones to.
if we hold this
raise and
over
don't
until
raise.
September, the old ordinance goes back into effect July 1, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be only July and August. Nobody up here wants to increase residential rates by 4% or whatever it is. Nobody wants that. However, like Billy said, this problem is not going away. This problem wasn't created overnight, and we can't fix it overnight. We can't fix it in 1 year. But instead of freezing, after we look at all the numbers, maybe we could do a 1%.
When it was
We could
increased,
look at the numbers and then next year reevaluate.
when it was frozen last time, the increase of what they charged us to haul it off versus what we charged was 11%. And then it was froze here at 11%, increase from what they haul it off on. But I think it needs to be reviewed, all the information and documentation, but that's just me. I mean, you all do whatever you want to do.
So we put it in the budget, it's automatically in the budget, so it's going to happen, correct?
No, it's in an
And
ordinance.
Plus, it's in the budget, based on the ordinance.
Yeah, you'd have to take it out of the ordinance, I think, right? You would have to change the ordinance
Yes,
Right.
all we did in the ordinance was say it was.
It's froze for a year.
1 year. So I think you'd have to do reading on the ordinance rather than,
Right.
the budget was figured on that, but that is an estimated number. And a lot of times, we get more because there's a lot of businesses, businesses will come in or they'll change their dumpsters. We're adding rates all the time. We added like 3 different rates where businesses have been like, you know what, I want my garbage picked up more than, so we added more. So it's going up anyway, so,
But that wouldn't have any impact on this. Any of the business, the dumpsters, none of that would have any impact on the proposal.
Right, that's what I'm saying, this 60,000 that was put in there, you'll probably get close to that revenue anyway, even if you did freeze the rates after everybody had a chance to review them.
And the ordinance is not broken down in those rate codes.
Right.
It's not anywhere.
So you'd have to,
Just get a little more specific, and that's why I think it's good to meet. If you meet, I have a lot of information. I can show you the rate codes, and then you all can decide, okay, yeah, we need to be specific about what we're doing with apartments. We need, because there's nothing, apartments aren't residential, technically. They're in a different category, kind of. So like, you can break it down to each, I can show you the whole list, like that's what I was compiling. I can show you the whole list of them. It's got a description of what every rate code is. And then you can say, well, if we say this, it will cover everything that's in there. It just needs to be a little more clear, I think. If you've seen the list and all the information I have, I think you'd understand
I
maybe.
understand, but
Yeah.
I'm just talking about residential and the rate codes that were frozen last time. I'm not talking about anything.
But it's business too,
other.
residential and businesses.
Businesses weren't frozen last time unless they weren't supposed to be. It was
No.
strictly
I
residential.
thought it was commercial too.
No,
No.
no, residential only.
In the ordinance,
Okay.
And as far as the 60,000, even if just the rates would result in a almost $16 a year increase, and if you multiply that times 2,000, that's assuming everybody was at that rate, which I'm not, because I'm 65. I'm one of the lucky people that have a reduced rate. So even at the worst, it would be, what, 32,000? Or less than 32,000. And it would be significantly less than that because, not significantly, it would be less than that because of the people that are 65.
But
And that
I
would only
guess that
be about a-
60,000 may be less if you figured in business too, with the laws.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah, if she,
I think
you know,
that-
the number could be.
I think that it needs to be done by the ordinance rather than by the budget. I feel fairly comfortable
But
with that
I-
number in the budget
I
and,
understand where you're coming from because this is your job on the budget.
yeah.
But basically, by putting it in the budget and the way it's been done, it's done. It'll be raised beginning July 1st.
Not if the ordinance says no, right?
But we can't get it done before July 1st. So it'll
But you
automatically
still,
be in
but you would
effect.
still have to change the ordinance, even if it's not in the budget.
Correct.
If you take it out of the budget, you still have to change it by July
Correct.
1st. So,
That's why I'm moving now, so you can do it now as far as the budget. And then we get back to the point, it's $30,000, a significant amount for the budget to have a second reading of, to amend it based on that. But
that's an early
Let's do this.
question, I don't,
you s- of the ordinance.
special call meetings.
and of the budget is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can't do it for free tonight, because it's not.
Realistically, it's not going to happen then. If September, you're going to have to do a couple of readings. It's going to be October at the very earliest that it's going to be done. So, and then you're going to have to send out, you're going to do rates now with the increase. You're going to do, if it's passed, then you're going to do rates again in October or November with the decrease. So that's going to cause a lot of confusion too. So,
I mean, it don't matter to me, y'all. can have a
Wesley
special call
and
meeting,
Sabrina
whatever.
both have been, I asked Sabrina to pull some earlier dates on different intakes, and they were struggling to find documentation as far as when some certain rates were increased, how long it's been since they have increased, instead of it just us freezing the residential and basically we continue increasing the commercial and the business with residential being frozen. And here we are trying to encourage business, encourage commercial to come here, but our garbage rates are like, you're just going to keep on paying what you've always paid. So I still stick to, we meet September, the Solid Waste Committee meets in September. Wesley and Sabrina can both gather all of the information, and let's just do a total revamp of everything.
And the solid waste committee can always, Lori can always swap them around where they meet earlier than September if you're not comfortable with September. I just think that, I think that there needs to be some information. I think you all need to look at, because you can't make a good decision, in my opinion, when you don't have all the information. And you have to draft the ordinance and things like that, because either way, even if you take it out of the budget, you're still gonna have to draft the ordinance. So we can amend the budget, and I can do a first reading if everybody wants to amend it, but I think as far as the rates go, I think you need to look at all the information, because I have already compiled a lot of information, I just haven't got it all done, because I didn't think the meeting was till September, but if you have a meeting next week, I can have you all the information.
as far as residential, I don't think it's complicated in that we're just going to continue what we've been doing. So that's my opinion. So
That's okay.
we'll let it
Okay, so we had a motion and a second on the table. Do you want to rescind your motion right now, Denny, or you want to have a vote?
Let's have a vote.
Okay. Motion by Denny, second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay. So I get to break the tie, so we'll try to set this aside for now and look at it. And if you can get that information for us, we'll ask Lori to bump that, just make a swap with the,
Beautification committee was
with
next, I think.
with committees. And
At the next meeting?
I think that'd be ideal, probably, yeah.
So the rate that's in the budget, it will go up, and the people will be charged July, August, and September, right?
No.
No,
we're gonna
until
have
the
meeting
ordinance is
first meeting in
amended.
July.
The
Okay.
ordinance has to be amended regardless, whether you take it out of the budget or not. It still has to
Okay.
be amended, the ordinance.
We'll be
And
able-
then if
we'll
you
be-
amend the ordinance, then it will not go up even if it's in the budget, because there's an ordinance that states this is what we're doing with it.
And we'll be able to discuss that first meeting in July, correct, Lori? Yes. And that will get us on the ball and get it done instead of waiting till September. I think it's a good compromise, so. All right, Sabrina,
Okay,
anything else on that, guys, before we move on? Okay.
all right. An ordinance amending the City of Litchfield annual budget for fiscal year July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Whereas the City of Litchfield, Kentucky has heretofore adopted its budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30, 2024 by ordinance enacted June 5, 2023. Whereas it is necessary to amend the said budget ordinance in order to more accurately reflect the revenues and expenditures of the City of Litchfield, Kentucky in certain budget categories. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows, that Section 1 and 2 of the here and above described budget ordinance are amended to read as follows, with deleted portions being indicated by a single line drawn through them and added portions being indicated by a solid line drawn beneath them. Projected cash at June 30, 2023. General fund, $10,938,187 to $13,033,352. Utility fund, from $11,667,866 to $12,750,296. Tourism fund, $1,661,849 to $1,956,578. Revenue in the general fund, net profit returns, $665,000 to $780,000. Occupational taxes from $2,929,000 to $3 million. Property taxes from $795,600 to $856,000. Insurance license taxes from $1,052,000 to $1,423,000. Franchise taxes, $371,000 to $310,000. ABC application and regulatory fees, $261,000 to $266,600. Other licenses, $700 to $900. Restaurant taxes, $900,000 to $950,000 in the general fund, and $900,000 to $950,000 in the tourism fund. Transfer restaurant taxes, general fund, negative $900,000 to negative $950,000. Hotel taxes, general fund, from $9,000 to $10,000. Tourism fund, from $9,000 to $10,000. Transfer of hotel taxes from negative $9,000 to negative $10,000. Mineral severance income from $18,625 to $22,400. Rental income from $60,650 to $54,150. Other revenue, $114,442 to $147,951. Interest income, $16,025 to $22,550. Sale of property from $10,000 to $7,400. Grant income, general fund, $804,300 to $186,987. Tourism fund, $1,550 to stays the same, $1,550. HB 413 base court revenue from $10,000 to $10,300. Incentive pay from $97,200 to $86,000. IDC contributions stays the same at $80,000. Fire runs from $1,000 to $0. Grayson County fire dues from $145,500 to $148,150. State aid fire department stays the same, $11,500. Planning and zoning enforcement permits and fees, $4,500 to $15,210. Municipal road aid stays the same at $140,980. Garbage pickup fees, One stays the same at $1,500,000. Solid waste dumping fees, $995,000 to $1,150,000. Recycling fees from $5,000 to $7,375. Animal shelter, animal control income from $91,250 to $94,650. Parks and recreational income from $10,119,125 to $160,579. In the utility fund, water sales, $2,427,050 to $2,478,450. Sewer sales from $1,862,550 to $1,664,390. From gas sales from $3,692,400 to $3,374,875. Grant income, $661,200 to $1,500. In the tourism fund, tourism other income, $12,300 to $20,800. Tourism aquatic center revenue from $229,500 to $244,500. Total current year revenue, general fund from $20,299,397 to $10,482,682. Utility fund, $8,643,200 to $7,519,215. Tourism fund, $1,152,350 to $1,226,850. Total revenue and carry forward. General fund, $31,237,584 to $23,516,034. Utility fund, $20,311,066 to $20,269,511. Tourism fund, $2,814,199 to $3,183,428. Expenditures, general fund, general and admin, $3,337,200 to $2,526,606. Alcohol beverage control from $428,505 to $432,955. Industrial development stays the same at $133,300. Police department from $2,136,970 to $2,140,650. Fire department from $933,230 to $916,030. Planning and zoning, $236,450 to $232,450. Public Works Department, $3,765,240 to $3,733,015. Animal shelter, animal control, $435,810 to $437,310. Parks and Recreation, $11,078,635 to $1,124,481. In the utility fund, water, $3,408,050 to $3,549,850. Sewer, from $2,445,750 to $2,349,450. Gas, $2,930,875 to $2,800,875. Capital improvements from $2,724,900 to $611,675. In the tourism fund, tourism, $1,028,429 to $779,229. Tourism Aquatic Center from $797,650 to $776,400. Total current year expenses, general fund, $22,485,340 to $11,676,797. Utility fund, $11,599,575 to $9,311,850. Tourism fund, $1,826,079 to $1,555,629. Current year net income or loss, general fund, loss of $2,185,943 to loss of $1,194,115. Utility fund, loss of $2,866,375 to a loss of $1,792,635. Tourism fund, loss of $673,729 to a loss of $328,779. Adjustment for non-cash depreciation items. Utility fund, one stays the same at $1,485,000. Projected cash ending balance with carry forward. General fund, $8,752,244 to $11,839,237. Utility fund, $10,286,491 to $12,442,661. Tourism fund, $988,120 to $1,627,799. Adopted this 17th day of June after first being read the 3rd day of June, 2024.
Any questions for Sabrina?
Sabrina,
What she just read?
sorry. Sabrina, I didn't have my copy, I'm sorry. I didn't bring it with me. But you said in the general fund, the carry, 8 million to 11 million is what will be in the general fund? for
Yes. For the carry forward, yes.
For the carry forward. So we will anticipate having 11 million at the end. Okay.
At the start of the fiscal year, yes. And some of that is still unspent ARPA funds.
Right.
Yep.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a first and a second, then we'll do a roll call for
I'll make a motion.
motion by Billy, second,
I second it.
second by Tootie. Denny?
Nay.
Gina?
I'm hanging up on the garbage. A couple other things, but can I abstain from it
You may.
if I don't want
Won't that go in the favor of,
It will count in favor.
The majority.
Or you can,
Okay.
to go, not go with the majority, you would just want to not vote. You just,
I think I'll just not vote.
okay.
You might be able to not vote at all. But that would skew your numbers. I said she might be able to not vote at all if that's her thing
Yeah, I think that's what she.
versus
wants
not
to do.
abstaining. But,
Not voting.
Not
but
vote.
then it would, the numbers would be 5 instead of 6.
Isn't that the same? I don't know.
I'll just make it simple. Nay.
Okay.
Nay?
Aye.
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 Aye. All right. Aye. We'll pass the budget as read.
Thank you.
And,
I do want to thank Sabrina for all the work she's done. I know she's really put in the hours.
Thank you, Danny.
okay. All right,
And
thanks, guys.
Despite what I said previously, I really don't think you're stupid.
Thank you, Denny.
Okay. Next item up is regulatory license fee for sale of alcoholic beverages, staying at 6% ordinance. I think this is for information only, or if anyone has any,
I'll make a
Any
motion to
ideas?
keep them the same.
do we need a motion or anything with this, Lori? I don't think we do, just unless you have an idea of changing it or doing something different, so. Anyone else have anything on the 6% alcohol tax? Okay. Next item is approval to allow Mayor Miller to execute the paperwork for the health insurance renewal for fiscal year 24-25, along with approval to continue HRA through McGregor to cover half the deductible. Is there any discussion on this as far as, just for you guys' general information, we have looked at some different rates, some different plans, and I think we've got, probably tomorrow, we'll end up our research as far as what we're looking at. I think we should get the final bit of information tomorrow, so the next 3 items there for the health insurance, for dental and vision, and workman's comp, and general liability property insurance. So what we're asking is basically for you to allow us to,
Who are the insurers gonna be? Same?
we've gotten
You put up
bids.
here McGregor, but you didn't any of the rest of them, so
Yeah.
I assume there's a change coming?
Well, I don't know that. We've got bids from, and I'd have to look to see the other company name. I've got it on my desk.
Hillman.
On the health insurance,
Yeah,
Allstate.
Allstate. And then property, life, casualty, and workman's comp was
I've not seen it.
Hill, what was it, Clayton?
I believe it's Hillman.
Hillman, something like that. I can show
They're a
you.
large insurance
Yeah.
firm out of Louisville.
Who's your agents? Who's representing?
Health insurance, they're all represented locally by Mr. Beatty. Health insurance is in some way connected with Ms. Whitmore. Mrs. Whitmore.
Brittany.
And then obviously the KLC bids that we normally get.
So on the first one, we already have it through McGregor, correct?
Yes.
The
And that one's not changing.
The secondary.
That's not changing,
Yeah,
correct?
that's still, we'll still be able to use McGregor for our HRA.
Do we need to do a vote on each of these approvals?
I guess we can do them all together, because there's nothing but just letting them execute the contracts.
Well, I'll make a
Is it-
motion to approve the first one, to continue HRA through McGregor to cover half the deductible.
Right. I'm good.
Maybe could I ask a question on this? Is this something that the mayor can do by himself instead of allowing us to even have to even vote on it?
Yeah, it sure is. As
And
long as it's in the budget, he can execute.
That was my understanding.
We've always put it in there, and, when we found out that we didn't have to.
Yeah.
We just thought we would leave it on there to keep confusion down.
So you don't need our approval?
You really don't?
Okay.
And here's
It's
my,
in the budget.
And I hesitate to put it like that, Terry. I want you guys to be involved and have input into it, so it's not something that.
Right.
And I'm more than happy to share the figures. We can email them to you tonight or tomorrow, and that way, if you have any questions, we can discuss those. So I'm not trying to do anything
Right.
to hide anything or to slip through anything at all like that,
As
so.
long as,
We really researched the medical part of it, because that was a big thing. We spent
Yeah.
several hours in meetings over that.
Yeah.
as long as our,
Make sure we did what's right.
as long
What's
as
best for
our,
employees.
yeah, whatever, as long as they're not losing any coverage in any transition to wherever we may go. So does this mean that we are moving away from KLC entirely?
No.
No, we're still going to be a part of KLC.
Yes.
Does our insurance at the present time doesn't have dental or vision, does it?
Well, we offer dental and vision, and that's why I put out to the side that that's fully paid by employees.
By employees, yeah, that's what I meant.
That's fully paid by the employees,
Yeah.
for very, very minimal cost.
And, there's some things we're looking at too that could possibly, with some savings, we could possibly do some things, more things for the employees. And if you've got any ideas, be sure and let us know, because we've talked about everything from paying for dental vision to paying more on the deductibles to paying out of pocket, things like that. So we're open to anything regarding that.
Mayor, I appreciate what you said, and my only concern is, and I think you've had the mayor has authority to do this without input from us, and I appreciate us getting input. I'm just speaking from my position. I have a hard time okaying a contract that I haven't seen. I mean, that's this from my point of view. So I'd like to see him before. If
Okay.
that's where I'm coming from on it.
Would you guys want to have a special called meeting before July 1st? How would you like to have an email copy of it and review it beforehand? And then I'm open to whatever suits everybody.
If we don't,
Like I say.
I mean, if you don't need our approval,
Well, I don't
then,
like
mean,
to operate
I
like
get what
that,
you're
though.
saying. No, I know,
Yeah.
I understand that completely.
And we can email out, once we have this other meeting in the morning, which one we're going with.
That's what I thought. If we could just,
I personally haven't seen them all myself.
we could just see
Well-
them and maybe,
Liability property.
And can you document on that, if you send those out, can you document on there somewhere whether there is any difference in coverage where, like, our employees would be losing something if we went with this company? Or whether it's exactly the same as what we have, but a lesser price, or whether they're gaining coverage?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Does
And
that think-
I just have a problem, and Harold knows, dealing with an industry or I guess, agent or a company that has cost us tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And
And I understand that, Billy, I do, and that's,
that would be my no. So,
okay. So we want to
but
just
if it's
table
your,
these for,
but if it's your call, do it.
no, I'm not, I won't ever operate like that. I want to be above board and transparent with you guys in every way that I can. That's my goal. I don't,
Well, if that's
I
the
don't
case,
want-
we need to probably have a special meeting and all of us sit down and listen to what the terms are on the
Okay.
on the new proposed
Okay,
policies.
okay. Why don't we do this? Or Lori, can you email those things out tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah, you have copies of the other ones presided.
No, we'll have to get them, so. As soon as possible this week, we'll get those to you guys in email. And then you guys look over them. If you feel like we need to have a special call meeting, we'll do that next week sometime,
Okay,
before
okay.
July 1st. Will that work for everybody?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it will.
okay.
Is any of the insurance under a deadline? Is anything under a
We just
deadline?
have to sign, we just have
July
to
1st.
Have to
sign
sign.
by July 1st, so everything, so we don't have a.
So I could actually physically come down here and pick it up, though. I could actually physically come down here and pick it up.
Yeah, once I get copies of everything, yes. you
Yeah.
can. Because your
You-
email's not working.
You understand where I'm coming from, basically. Thanks.
We'll make 2 copies because mine's not working either.
Yeah, if you've not made the transition, your email's still on.
Yeah, I just got mine back today, so. Okay, next up is second and final reading of fiscal year 24-25 proposed budget ordinance. Ms. Sabrina.
Okay. An ordinance adopting the City of Litchfield, Kentucky annual budget for the fiscal year July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2025 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message have been prepared and delivered to the City Council of the City of Litchfield, Kentucky for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2025 by the mayor and city of the city, and whereas the city council has reviewed the said budget proposal and budget message, made all modifications which were deemed appropriate, now therefore be it ordained by the city of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows, that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2025 is hereby adopted as follows. Projected cash at June 30, 2024, general fund, $11,839,237, utility fund, $12,442,661, tourism fund, $1,627,799. Revenue, net profit returns, general fund, $780,000. Occupational taxes, $3 million. Property taxes, $856,000. Insurance license taxes, $1,423,000. Franchise taxes, $310,000. ABC application and regulatory fees, $266,600. Other licenses, general fund, $900. Restaurant taxes in the general fund, $950,000. In the tourism fund, $950,000. Transfer of restaurant taxes, general fund, negative $950,000. Hotel taxes, general fund, $10,000. Tourism fund, $10,000. Transfer of hotel taxes, general fund, negative $10,000. Mineral severance income, $22,400. Rental income, $54,150. Other revenue, $141,000. Interest income, $14,050. Sale of property, $61,000. Grant income, $776,900 in the general fund, $1,550 in the tourism fund. HB 413 base court revenue, general fund, $10,300. Incentive pay, $86,000. IDC contributions, $40,000. Fire run, 0. Grayson County fire dues, $148,150. State aid fire department, $11,500. Planning and zoning code enforcement, permits and fees, $7,360. Municipal road aid, $135,600. Garbage pickup fees, $1,560,000. Solid waste dumping fees, $1,150,000. Recycling fees, $5,000. Animal shelter, animal control revenue, $93,650. Parks and recreational income, $145,400. Healthplex center, $10 million. Water sales in the utility fund, $2,496,050. Sewer sales, $1,663,808. Gas sales, $3,659,500. Grant income, $679,800. Tourism other income in the tourism fund, $48,700. Tourism aquatic center revenue, $244,500. Total current year revenue, general fund, $21,998,960. Utility fund, $8,499,158. Tourism fund, $1,254,750. Total revenue and carry forward, general fund, $32,938,197. Utility fund, $20,941,819. Tourism fund, $2,882,549. Expenditures, general fund, general and admin, $3,101,300. Alcohol beverage control, $401,575. Industrial development, $133,650. Police department, $2,319,375. Fire department, $1,287,030. Planning and Zoning Code Enforcement, $375,400. Public Works Department, $4,757,460. Animal Shelter, Animal Control, $506,010. Parks and Recreation, $887,125. Healthplex Center, $10 million. Water in the Utility Fund, $3,706,100. Sewer, $2,393,650. Gas, $3,115,275. Capital Improvements, $3,319,639. Tourism and the Tourism Fund, $1,048,075. Tourism Aquatic Center, $828,400. Total current year expenses, General Fund, $23,768,925. $768,925. Utility Fund, $12,534,664. Tourism Fund, $1,876,475. Current year net income or loss. General Fund, loss of $2,669,965. Utility Fund, loss of $4,035,506. Tourism Fund, loss of $621,725. Adjustment for non-cash depreciation items. Utility Fund, $1,575,500. Projecting ending cash balance with carry forward. General Fund, $9,169,272. Utility Fund, $9,982,655. Tourism Fund, $1,006,074. Hang on. That this ordinance shall be in effect as of July 1, 2024, and remain in effect unless sooner amended until June 30, 2025, adopted this 17th day of June 2024, after first being read on the 3rd day of June 2024.
Okay. Any questions to Sabrina concerning the proposed budget? Okay. I'll entertain a first and a second, and we'll have a roll call.
I'll make a motion that we accept it.
Motion by Tootie,
Second.
second by Terry. Denny?
Nay.
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 Aye.
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 Okay. Aye. We'll accept it at this point. All right, next on the agenda is resolution authorizing mayor to execute the 2024-2025 municipal road aid contract in the amount of $139,817.99. Basically, that's allowing me just to sign the paperwork for us to accept that.
I'll make a motion.
Motion
Second.
by Clayton, second by Billy, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next up, recommendation from Planning and Zoning to change property owned by Ethan Woosley, PVA number 083-08-08-038 from R1, single-family low-density, to R2A, single-family high-density. Mr. Tyler.
A public hearing was held on this application, location being 213 North Clinton Street. The zoning map amendment is attached. The public hearing was held on Monday, May 13th at 5 p.m. And the Planning Commission discussed the matter and found that the request for the zoning amendment should be granted. Planning Commission noted there have been major changes to the surrounding area of a social and physical nature, and the proper zoning should be R2A, single-family, high-density. The request was unanimously approved by the Planning Commission.
All right, any questions for Tyler concerning rezoning? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept that in a second.
I make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the planning and zoning on the property that Tyler just spoke about.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Gina, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next up, recommendation for planning is, excuse me? Oh, okay.
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled zoning map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Litchfield, Kentucky as hereinafter described from R-1 single-family low-density to R2A single-family high-density. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on May 13th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-24-130. The property is currently owned by Ethan Woosley and others. and is designated as a property having PVA number 083-08-05-038, being more particularly described in Deed Book 511, page 539, Records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 213 North Clinton Street, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from R-1, single-family low-density, to R2A, single-family high-density. And whereas city council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference. And now therefore be it ordained by the city of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows: boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky, being same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof, as fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 5/13/2024 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows: property description, refer to property description, PVA number 083-08-05-038, Deed Book 511, page 539, Records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 213 North Clinton Street, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zoned R2A, single-family high-density after the adoption of this ordinance.
What, do us on that one, Lori? We don't have to vote again, do we? Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is a recommendation from Planning and Zoning to change property owned by Church of God of Prophecy, PVA number 083-05-00-058, from R2 Single Family Medium Density to P1 Public Institutional.
Public hearing was held on the application for a zoning map amendment filed by Church of God of Prophecy for their property located on the 400 block of Lilac Road. The zoning map application was attached and incorporated by reference. The public hearing was held on Monday, June 10th, 2024. The Planning Commission discussed the matter in detail and found that the request for a zoning map amendment should be granted. Planning Commission noted that there have been major changes to the surrounding area of a social and physical nature. The proper zoning should be public institutional, and it was unanimously approved by the Planning Commission.
Want to read the ordinance, Tyler? Do we need to? Okay. Okay.
Well, I make a motion then to accept that.
Motion by Terry, second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Tyler?
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Litchfield, Kentucky as hereinafter described from R-2 Single Family Medium Density to P-1 Public Institutional. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on June 10th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-24-131. The property is currently owned by Church of God of Prophecy and is designated as a property having a PVA number 083-05-00-058, being more particularly described in Deed Book 476, page 640, Records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at the 400 block of Lilac Road, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from R-2 Single Family Medium Density to P-1 Public Institutional. And whereas city council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference. And now therefore be it ordained by the city of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows: boundaries of the district map shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky, being same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof as fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 6/10/2024 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows: property description, refer to property description, PVA number 083-05-00-058, Deed Book 476, page 640, Records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at the 400 block of Lilac Road, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zoned P-1 Public Institutional after the adoption of this ordinance.
Moving down to the next item, recommendation from Planning and Zoning to change property owned by Scotty Higdon, PVA number 084-07-00-041, from R2 Single Family Medium Density to C1 Highway Commercial.
A public hearing was held on this application for a zoning map amendment filed by Scotty Higdon for his property located at 118 Westlake Drive and 609 White Street, Litchfield, Kentucky. The Planning Commission discussed the matter in detail and found that the request for a zoning map amendment should be granted. The Planning Commission noted that there have been major changes to the surrounding area by virtue of the new bypass and surrounding commercial development, and now the area is becoming commercial in nature, and the proper zoning should be C1 Highway Commercial. And this is subject to the condition that the owner file a consolidation plat with the Planning Commission consolidating Tract 1 and Tract 2 set out on the before referenced deed.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to accept that.
I make a motion, we accept that.
I
Motion by
second.
Clayton, second by Tootie. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Tyler?
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Litchfield, Kentucky as hereinafter described from R-2 Single Family Medium Density to C-1 Highway Commercial. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on June 10th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-24-132. The property is currently owned by Scotty Higdon and is designated as a property having a PVA number 084-07-00-041 and 084-07-00-037, being more particularly described in Deed Book 507, page 13, and Deed Book 472, page 118, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 609 White Street and 118 Westlake Drive, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from R-2 Single Family Medium Density to C-1 Highway Commercial. And whereas city council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference. And now therefore be it ordained by the city of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows: boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky, being same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof, fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 6/10/2024 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description, refer to property description PVA number 084-07-00-041 and 084-07-00-037, Deed Book 507, page 13, and Deed Book 472, page 118, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 609 White Street and 118 Westlake Drive, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zoned C-1 Highway Commercial after the adoption of this ordinance.
Thank you, Tyler. Okay, next item on the agenda is Grayson County Historical Society proclamation. Judge Henderson and I went down June 11th and signed that at Pine Knob. We got to make a trip to Pine Knob. We heard some interesting information concerning Pine Knob, but there's a copy of the proclamation there.
Mayor, we just need a first and second to submit it into the book.
Okay.
Before we do, Mayor, I want to thank you for coming down there. It was,
Sure.
you and Judge Henderson both, and it was,
It was
I think it was worth the while, actually. It was-
Interesting information,
it was
yeah.
really- Really good,
Yeah,
but thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
you're more welcome. I'll entertain a motion then to accept the reading.
I make motion,
Second.
we accept the reading.
Okay, motion by Clayton, second by Billy, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Down to unfinished business. I do think there's some paperwork in the packet concerning this code, or actually the next one, code enforcement amended ordinance for condemned property. Tyler, Earlene, have we made any progress on that?
Well, we did talk about the demolition program, and we got that. So, Tyler's gonna talk about it, and we've got it as a recommendation from the code enforcement board, and Dr. Fulker, since he or she can answer questions on the Tyler, so.
Okay,
We present that now.
It's whatever.
okay.
So we discussed the proposal for a new demolition program in our last meeting, and I think you all have got a copy of that. The program that we just had was $150 for a permit for residential demolition as well as residential rehabilitation. And commercial was $150 for every 1,000 square feet of demo and $150 for the rehabilitation as well. They got to dump any debris at the transfer station free of charge. So for this time, we decided to raise the permit fees on residential property to $500, and they still get to dump their debris for free. It's still a 90-day permit, and then they may do a one-time renewal fee for $750 additional for another 90 days. And then the renovation permit cost would be $300 and includes the dump fees. And that permit would be 180 days. We decided to extend that out because doing a renovation project takes a whole lot longer than demolition. And this would give them ample time to do what they need to do to get the job completed. And they would also be given a one-time renewal fee of $450 to have an additional 90 days. For commercial property, we did it quite a bit different. It's going to be $500 for the permit up to 3,000 square feet, and then $50 progressively for every 1,000 square feet above that. And it would include dump fees at a reduced rate of 50%. It would be a 90-day permit, and they would have a one-time renewal fee of $750 for an additional 90 days and still have the 50% rate. The renovation permit would be $300 up to 3,000 square feet of building space, and then $50 progressively for every 1,000 square feet. It also includes a dump fee at a 50% rate, a 180-day permit, and then they would be a one-time renewal fee of $450 for an additional 90 days. And we recommend that if the program's instated, that it be in effect until July 1 of 2025, and then we can review again to see if we want to carry forward and make any changes.
Okay.
This is a recommendation from the code enforcement board, so if you vote tonight to enforce, to move forward in this, I can draft it in form of a resolution, and our next meeting, board will have a special, we can either do it at a special call, or we can do it on the next meeting, which will be July 1st. That proposal will be for this month, from July 1st, 2025, so it'll be that meeting.
Okay. Okay. Any discussion on it from what Tyler read?
This comment, Tyler, I think you did a good job on this. I was glad to see this, and put in a lot of thought on it. And,
Well, the code enforcement board had something to do with
and
it
the board.
too.
Thank the board too on it. But the only thing I may want to consider, it says there may be a one-time, may want to firm that up or put at the discretion of the, because you kind of leave it open. Arlene can probably
I can do that.
clean it up, but that's just my suggestion. Arlene would know better than I would about that. But thanks for the hard work on it.
And I think Tyler, the code board, he gave some number with the previous program, I think it was over 60 properties.
Yep.
The previous program, that was impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything we can do to clean up our city, we're grateful to have the ability to offer programs like this.
Yes.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay. So entertain a motion to accept this.
I make a motion.
Motion by Clayton,
Second.
second by Tootie. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Further discussion on tax moratorium for property taxes on people buying structures and refurbishing. And there is some literature in your packet concerning that. We've discussed this at different times. I guess the feeling now is I know I think I'm right. We talked about last meeting forming a committee to look into some of this. Am I correct on that?
We met.
You met? Okay.
This is a result of
Okay.
the meeting.
Okay. I hadn't heard that, so I learned something new today. So does anyone want to expand on what the assessment here is and the plans for the committee. Do we want to go ahead and vote on it? Need to have some discussion, or what direction do we need to go?
KRS was pretty straightforward. The only things that we'd probably have to decide is the percentage that they put into it, and possibly the locations, as far as the ordinance. And that's all we can do is the ordinance. And then, I guess Tyler could do, Terry found some pamphlets and stuff, but Tyler would have to do that on procedure to follow.
Okay.
And handouts and stuff like that, or put in the ordinance. But based on that, maybe we could just, I move we just go ahead and accept this, and then Earlene can draft the ordinance, and then she can
Okay.
bring it up, and we can go from there.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to accept this and allow Arlene to continue forward.
I make the motion.
Motion by Clayton, do I have a second?
I'll second it then.
Second by Denny, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, unfinished business, Billy,
No, sir.
Terry,
No unfinished business.
Judy,
No, sir.
Clayton,
Old business,
unfinished business, yeah.
unfinished business, okay. I got a call from our friend over on the hill, Joe Penner, and there's two things. One of them probably be taken care of here, the other one. He's wondering, he had listened to us discussing about the fence, putting the fence, and he kind of wondered where we were at with that.
Well, it'll be part of the new budget, so it'll be after July 1, won't it?
Be after July 1, okay?
Shortly after, hopefully, so.
And then they were a trailer over there. I know over there that he had taken out, that trailer that was sitting there, that he had taken out, it had a water meter and had the water meter taken out, but there's still water leaking and coming out. And of course, you being on the
Did he call the
utilities, it
utilities?
might be,
Surely he's already called utilities and it's leaking.
oh, he has, but nothing's been done.
Where's this at?
It's by Joe Penner's up on the hill. He had a trailer there and tore it down and removed it, and the water meter was removed, but there's still a water leak coming out up there.
And in the pit, actually the meter pit where they took the meter out, is that where the water's continuing to run? Okay. We can address that tomorrow with someone.
I got a feeling that might be addressed tonight.
Okay. And I know there's been some issues with the garbage, and Wesley and and Scotty we're working on that. Hope to get some resolution here in the next few days. There's some brush over there I think needed picked up too. I'm not
The
sure if
brush has
that's
been picked up.
been picked up, okay. I was hoping it had, but I wasn't sure, so,
Yeah, he called me earlier.
okay. Anything else, Clay?
No, that's all.
Okay. Gina?
Well, I didn't know whether to bring this up in the bills or unfinished business, but I noticed in the city bills that we had paid $150,000 to the Grayson County Fiscal Court. So I'm assuming we went ahead and paid our half for the farmer's market land.
Yes, ma'am. We
So-
did.
There, is that not what we had the vote and everything on back in the beginning? Was that not required? I mean, if not, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were exactly.
I think we voted on it. I discussed it with some others, and they, in one-on-one, some people had softened on it some felt like it was left up to me. The way that all came about, I felt like, personally, I felt like my word was my bond, and I spoke too soon, probably made a mistake, but I try to correct my mistakes.
Well, I mean, I'm okay, it's your decision, I just
Well-
didn't understand how we went from voting
Yeah,
to
I don't even
not
remember
voting.
talking about it in budget.
So, but that's fine.
It was in last year's budget,
Yeah.
Nobody's talked
Because
to
it
me.
would have been simpler up front.
Billy and I, you and I had a discussion in my office one-on-one several months ago about it. You said you felt like that was up to me. Okay, maybe we did.
I don't
I'm
remember
not,
talking
I'm not
about
one to
any
normally
of
make
it.
things up, so.
And I do agree, your word is your bond.
I appreciate that. You have anything else, Gina?
No, not on that.
Danny?
No, sir.
Or Lori?
The only thing I have is, I know I talked to a couple meetings ago about the ad. Things have been kind of crazy around here, and I haven't launched yet, but I think we're ready to do that, so I was gonna see if Elsa or Tammy could draw up a flyer for us to put on our Facebook page this week that has the information that it's ready, and I think we've got a barcode that we can, that they can scan and download it, so hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have that out there, and have people starting to download it and get it pushed out.
Okay. We talked also about maybe getting some business-sized cards made to, just to hand out to everyone associated with the city where they could,
There's an actual template that has all that and some of the information they sent us, so we can print those on
Yeah.
our stock and
Yeah.
get those cut out.
it's got the QR code on it that would take them straight to it, so.
If we could get a bigger, almost like poster size thing that we could put up at like East Main Market,
Yeah,
where
that'd be a
people
good
could
idea.
just come by, or for the Finland Festival in July,
Yeah.
have them in windows or whatever, and people can just go by and scan it.
Yeah, that's a good
I don't know if I
idea.
can get it done before this weekend, but.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we have several
We have
more
several.
chances.
So, I mean, it would be good to display our.
Finland's what, July 20th?
Mhm.
So we have time.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Lori? Earlene?
I just wanted to let you know why I've been sitting here, I think close to 5 years, I don't think I've had a vote that got so close on somebody abstaining. I know that's not what happened, but for future reference, based on an attorney general's opinion and established case law, if you have abstained from a vote, you do go with the majority. So if the majority is for, you're going with them, if the majority is against, you're going with them with your abstaining. Which you can abstain if you feel like you're not comfortable voting on something. The only way you can't vote is if you dismiss yourself from the meeting,
Gotcha.
and you can always do that and re-enter the meeting, and that, those times will be noted in the minutes, so.
Good to know. Thank you, Ernie.
Anything else, Earlene? Wes?
No, I got a question for Lori, though. On the app, do we have small stickers or something printed for we put on the trucks and cruisers and stuff like that? A little bit of that, QR code, or?
I think that would be good advertisement too.
Or we're all over town, the cruisers are all over. Just, I think, or whoever can print it, or we can do that. Yeah, magnet type or something.
That's what I was thinking, magnets.
Something we can put on. Other than that,
Okay. David?
No, sir.
Tyler, do you have anything unfinished?
No, sir.
Okay. New business, Billy? Terry?
I do have some new business, something I want us to think about, and I'm just going to read over this. I jotted it down this afternoon, so bear with me, please. Many public and private sectors that serve the public by offering services and programs often want to know what they're doing well and how they can improve. This is often done through surveys. It would be too overwhelming and ineffective for us to try to survey everything we offer all at one time. It would be most effective if we began with seasonal services or programs. With regular season baseball and softball having already ended or ending this week, I recommend that we begin there. The coaches and directors have all of the contact info for parents. The Park and Rec Committee could work with Tammy to develop an anonymous electronic survey that would close 1 week after sending out. All of the data would be in one location and allow us to see what we're doing well and how we can improve so we can prepare for an even greater season next year. I know I speak for everyone up here when I say we want to offer the best services and programs for our community, and what better way to improve than by getting input from those directly involved. Being in public education for 20-plus years, Basically, every program that we have, we send surveys out. That's the only way we can ever improve. And even though we may think that we are doing the absolute best job that we can, we always get some kind of input from the public, from the parents of the kids who we are servicing or are participating in the programs that we didn't think of. And I know that we have talked in the past about, probably a year and a half ago, about evaluations, and what better way to start than by evaluating our programs. So, give me some feedback. This is a rough draft. This is just a thought coming out. Feedback. Denny?
I think, I think it can't hurt anything at all to send something out targeted to those people.
Yeah, and I mean, this would be the best group to start with, because it would only go to those parents.
Those that had signed up and participated in the program.
And the coaches already have all of their contact, I mean, they've been, Tyler, do you have all the contact information for all your parents? Do you text them?
Yes.
Be the easiest way. You know, we work with Tammy, we come up with a survey. We're doing some really good things. But we also can't just settle for what we're doing really well. We have to always be striving to improve and to make things better. So, I mean, it can't be any easier than us getting a survey, Tammy sending you the link, you sending the link to parents, say, hey, take 3 minutes, fill this out. They submit it, it's done. It's all done.
I guess my first question is, do we have access to a survey, a
Yes.
site that?
I've
that
done
we-
many. I've
Okay.
created many.
Okay. Okay. I'm good with that. I'm fine with it. To send it out, we can do it.
So who's looking over the surveys?
It would go back to
I think it,
the
partial?
mayor, Tammy.
yeah, and I think we'd, ideally, we'd all get a copy of it and be able to look at it and see what,
What people.
because we've all
Well,
got.
I understand
Yeah.
looking at it and see what it is, but as far as,
Interpreting it.
she's the director of the park, we don't do Wesley.
Well, then it goes to
That's what I
her,
say,
and
we
then
do
she
Wesley, we
gets
do
it.
police department, we do,
Garbage pickup, trash, trees, leaves.
And maybe we should. I mean, everything that you just named is a direct reflection on the city of Litchfield.
Courtesy
All
at
of
the
these are under
clerk's
the
office.
city of Litchfield.
I think too, I think surveys are great. Two, once we get that act on, they can always send in a request, I mean, if they're having issues, I mean, they can send it in that way too, so.
Right. But this is to prepare for next year.
I
I don't think that we're ever good enough that we can't benefit from some input
Absolutely.
in whatever area we're talking about.
Absolutely. I picked that one because that's the one that is just now ending. That's the one that, Tyler, you've got access to all of your parents right now. Are you gonna have access to them in 6 months? Are they even gonna remember anything in 6 months? Are they gonna remember all the good things that we need to work on? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just saying that when,
Whenever something's fresh on somebody's mind, it's the best time to ask them about it.
absolutely. I mean, trash. That's a year-long thing. We can do that anytime. Streets, 365. We can do that anytime. I'm not trying to, single out Parks and Rec, but that's what we have right now. That would be our smallest group of participants, instead of doing something on a citywide scale that involves everybody else. This will give, this will give Tammy good feedback. This will give their directors good feedback. This will give everybody good feedback. But I'll tell you firsthand, surveys are scary. because there's always something on there that you're like, oh my gosh, but you learn from it. It's constructive criticism. That's what we call it in an education field, constructive criticism, and you learn from it.
What do you guys think?
I think it couldn't hurt. Why not try it? And the only thing, some boards I've been on, your biggest problem, and you may have this in education too, is apathy, getting people to fill it out.
Yeah.
You give them 1 week. The ones who fill it out, fill it
That's
out.
the thing. Then you take a percentage and go on it, or you take, you know,
Keep it
there's
short.
6,400 constituents in this city, or 5,000, whatever
And the
it
other thing is, the ones that
And
fill it
100
out,
send you back a survey.
Yeah.
this has just been my experience, a lot of times the ones that fill it out kind of skew it because they've got an axe to grind. Not always. Some will be positive, but you're more likely, but I think the Parks and Rec, when you're dealing with kids, parents are gonna be more likely to fill it out versus garbage pickup. You know, you can put that in the bills, but kids, you know, parents, people do more for kids and pets and
You know, and you
Absolutely.
get bad news travels faster than good news, we all know, but you try to discern what's real and what's not. Not saying anybody would send in something, but you still have to, I think, to discern what you're looking at, and did this really go down like this, what, you know, and there's still a lot of, even after the survey, there's a lot of discussion to be had, I think, between the director, coaches, parents, things like that. Here, I get a lot of feedback, have over the years on the council and as mayor, on our sports programs. Not all bad, not all good. I mean, it's a mix, but the information would be good, and it'd give us a chance to sit down and see what we're doing good and what we're not.
Stand a chance of getting better at it.
Yeah, that's the hope, you know, is
Yeah.
to be better, and so I don't have any problem with it at all. If anybody else doesn't, we can, if you get with Lori, maybe we can
I will. I'll call Lori
work towards that.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe you can put it on our app.
Yeah. It could, I guess we could put things like that on the app if we.
Well, except this is the targeted,
Right,
like the
yeah.
baseball park and the softball park parents,
Yeah.
just for them.
Yeah. But the other, with
The other,
garbage, things like that, we can
absolutely.
put on the app.
And I mean, we can even use it for the shelter. We
Yeah.
can use it for everything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else in new business, Terry?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Tootie?
I've just got a question, Mayor.
Okay.
We're in half ownership now of the ground out here. Is that gonna obligate us to be out another $300,000 or $400,000 in the next year or so to build a building?
No, and we're gonna get with the people down at the extension office. Like I say, there's a $250,000 grant involved in this, that we're 99% certain we'll be able to get. Between that and Kevin's, a lot of it Kevin is gonna do, and he'll have inmates to do as far as the building. I
But,
think
I mean, it's still gonna cost some, we just don't.
it's going to cost some, but it'll be minimal, I think. I think tourism is interested in helping with it.
Okay.
So with three entities, I think it'll surprise you how little it will be
Okay.
overall for all of us. So,
I think another possible area of support would be the hospital foundation.
yes.
They had talked when I had a meeting with them, they asked about the status of that, so.
Yeah. So I think in the end, when it's said and done, our costs will be minimal compared to what, if we took it on ourselves, because
Yeah.
like Denny said, the hospital has the program where they do gardens behind the building up there, and, you know, health and homegrown food and stuff like, a lot of what they are dwelling on, and I think they'll be willing to help some too, so.
That's all I've got, Mayor.
Okay. Clayton, new business?
Yeah. Had a lady call me the other day and wanted me to drive over on Alexander Drive, your neighborhood. But over there, Wesley, whoever, there at, when you go in the upper side, as you come down from the American Legion, and you come down and you turn in on Alexander Drive and make the curve, there is a big bush. I don't know whether it's on somebody's property or not, but it's sticking out in the road. And there were a couple of cars met there, and this lady had her, at 603 Alexander, had her car scratched up. Now, she's not fussing about that. She said, I'll take my scratches, but that bush, and then there's a tree sticking out that's got the speed limit sign over there blocked going down that way. And then if you come in the other way and come up one of the speed limit signs there, you can't hardly, it's just been, I guess, old, and it's just dirty and nasty. Maybe, I don't know, if somebody just take something, wipe it off or what, but the main thing is, well, that one speed limit sign is blocked, and then the tree and the bush sticking out in the edge of the road. And then one more thing, over on Dixie Avenue, as you come down from Bird Tool, the first house on the right, then when you turn on Dixie, Mr. Larry Moore at 600 Dixie, they're having a lot of drainage problems in two places. Bird Tool, as they have got a lot of that riprap coming down, and the water's coming down, and it's coming straight across the road and coming in on Mr. Larry Moore there. And he, you know, in behind them, between Alexander and Dixie, there's a drain coming down through there, but the water's not getting to that drain. It's flooding him out there. And then between him and the house next to him, they took me down through there the other day, and the drain coming across the road from one side of Dixie over to their side over there, it's a big tile, and the water's coming through. But then when it gets down there, there's a little, the drain gets little and goes to the back of that between Alexander and Dixie. And they're wanting to know if there's something that can be done there. The neighbors said that they would even kick in and help if they had to, if you could dig on them, and they'd be willing to, just need to go over there and talk to them and see what their problem is.
So that was Mr. Larry Moore?
Yeah, Terry Larry Moore. And then I don't know the neighbor's name next to him, but I talked to him the other day for about an hour down there and trying to figure out. But coming across that road from Dixie, on the far side over to them, there's a big tile and the water's coming through. But somebody had dug a drain with that corrugated pipe and run it to the back between Alexander and them, and the water, it's not taking it, and it's just flooding them out there.
Take a look at it, if you're done with it.
Okay. And that's all. I appreciate you, Wes, Scott, whatever y'all do.
Gina?
Wes, I think I mentioned to you earlier in the week about the property over on Johnson Street and their ditch problem.
Yes, they were on Johnson Street ditch today.
Good deal. Thank you very much, Wes.
Danny?
I do. Wes, what's the status of our signs, selling our signs?
I haven't got too much more to it. We haven't taken any back to the ones that you want to sell.
Yes, I need some really bad.
I know, we haven't got too many taken away yet.
Okay.
But as soon as ever we get through all this other stuff, we're gonna start trying to get something together. and
Sell 'em.
What we got, 'cause I think we should auction them off on the website or something, or
Pat did say he'd be more glad to
That's
auction.
what I'm thinking.
So,
Probably wouldn't even charge a 10% fee on it.
I wouldn't
I don't
bet
know
on
that
that. I wouldn't bet on that, so.
That's all.
Before I get over to Lori and the rest of the group for new business, We'll go over the demolition program proposal from the Code Enforcement Board.
Didn't we just do that?
We just
That's-
did
We did
that.
that one,
did.
yeah, that's what
Okay.
Tyler did when we were
Okay.
talking about the condemned property ordinance
I
amendment.
thought maybe you had something else. It was on here twice, okay. Results of the KCO road salt auction.
Yeah,
Wes.
I put us in a reverse auction every year to bid on salt for KCO, and I got the results in, I guess it was Friday. And they had 4 different companies that bid on it. And my recommendation is to go with lowest price, of course, which is Cargill Incorporated, at $103.25 a ton. So that'd be my recommendation. And we go with the others if we want, but they were the cheapest. That's who we've had it with the past couple of years already.
Same ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion, we accept Wes's.
Okay. Motion by Clayton.
I'll second it.
Second by Tootie. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
How many
Okay.
ton you think you need to order?
What I put in for is 100, is the way we kind of gauge it by. We didn't have roads ready this year, so if we didn't use it, just very little.
Right.
So we've still got the majority of what we had last year, so I didn't have to buy it this year. So
Good.
that made it, nice that we didn't have to spend that. But I'm sure that we're gonna have to next year.
Hope not.
This is good till July next year,
Yes,
once we give them the letter. And if we don't take it, then it doesn't cost us anything.
good.
We are locked in at this price, so. all it would
Hope we
cost-
don't need it.
Yeah, I hope we don't need it.
I'm hoping we don't need it.
Yeah. Okay, new business, Lori, you have anything?
I don't have any new business, but I just kind of want to spit out a reminder there. If we're having issues that this department heads need to know about, we need to be getting with them immediately and letting them know the situations. I know we've had several things mentioned tonight that probably should have already been mentioned to the department heads. So we just need to make sure we're getting with them as soon as somebody contacts us, please.
And you can use the app too, correct?
Yes.
Yes, you can
Yes, we
submit.
will I
You
can't
can
wait.
even submit pictures
Yeah,
with your
and you
request.
submit pictures and it pins the location and everything, so it's really gonna be neat when we get it up and running, so that should be later this week, so.
Someone's already used it for us.
Have they? Yep. I think I sent a couple test ones out, but it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be real beneficial to the city.
Hope it's a popular item.
Yeah.
Arlene, new business. Okay. Wes?
Just a reminder that it's mosquito time. If you see little jars of water or anything around your house, dump them out. I had some on my deck, it was a little cat, and it had their little babies floating in it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start fogging this week. I think it'll be Thursdays, starting from this Thursday.
Okay,
Usually about dusk, and we'll run for about 4 hours, so.
okay.
Other than that,
Wesley, if Heather can get me something that we can, she usually sends something to put on Channel 2, and so she can get me that, we'll get it posted on Channel 2, and I can post it on Facebook also.
Yeah, if that changes the date, let us know,
I will.
because I think the greenhouse likes to know
Yeah.
when we spray,
I
so,
talked to her last year about it, they do a lot of walking, so.
Yeah.
They do a lot of walking,
Yeah.
spraying, and
yeah.
we're gonna try to stay with the same day unless it's rain. If it's raining, of course, we can't spray or fog, so we may load it up a day or something to get ahead of it, but I know we're starting to get really bad right now.
Yeah.
So, and we are gonna start trying something a little different this year. I bought some, traps that we're gonna set out in different areas of town. So if you see a little bag hanging with a light around the top of it out somebody's yard, just leave it. It's one of our traps that we're trying to catch mosquitoes in. If it's got a certain amount, then we'll fog that area that night. If they don't, then we can skip that area. The chemicals went up about twice of what it was before. So this hopefully will save us a little bit, but we're trying to do it in different low areas all over town. Maybe we'll
Sounds good.
spray all over.
But right now, Thursdays.
Right now, Thursday.
And our areas that have creeks in them, that have constant flowing water, will you spray that regularly, or will that be,
If it's constantly flowing, mosquitoes aren't as bad.
Okay.
It's still water that they start hatching in. And what this chemical does is, the way I understand it, it's like the mist, but it'll put like a oily film on the water. That way the babies get hatched if they got oil on top of them.
okay.
So that's the key thing we're trying to do. So, but probably this Thursday, we'll probably spray all of town, just to, for our first
Nah, it's not gonna rain. Never gonna rain.
Will that spray kill coons?
And we'll kill nothing but mosquitoes.
Darn.
No bees, no nothing, no other issue.
I need to find out, because I don't want to walk outside, David, and them hear that I've opened up over there, but I've got 3 or 4 coons that if we don't get them caught or something, I'm going to open up on.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Hopefully you don't have to do that.
We have no ordinance for that, Clay.
Yeah. New bump stock, go at it.
No, you got them back now.
Yeah. David, you have any new business?
No, sir.
Tyler?
No, sir.
Okay. Other business, reminder, there will be a beautification committee meeting on July 1st at 6 PM.
We're gonna change that.
5 PM,
We're gonna change that to solid waste, right?
solid waste.
Hallelujah.
Okay. The next chamber luncheon is Thursday, July 11th at noon. Please let Lori know no later than noon on Monday, the 8th, if you plan to attend. And there's a copy of the updated statistics from the animal shelter in your packet for informational purposes. And David also had some packets on the police activity report. I think everybody got one, but if you didn't, just let us know and we can make copies for everybody, so. Any other business? If there's not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn now.
All right, motion by Clayton, do I have a second?